Ana, many thanks for taking time to talking to me. As CEO of Friends of the Supergrid, I would like to ask you two questions. The first one is, in the future energy system might rely much more than today on remote and large-scale renewables. In your mind, is it the member states who should be acting here, or do we need a European solution?
Well, thank you very much, first of all, to the Friends School for having me interviewed. And it's already very good that neutral academics take for granted that the future energy systems will have to integrate large-scale remote renewable energy sources. This is not so evident for many other important stakeholders, especially politicians and even regulators. So in my opinion, of course, the way to tackle this integration of remote and large-scale renewable energies cannot be done at national level only. Well, it can be done, but it will cost much more to consumers. It should be done at European level. National markets, national networks, a European internal market, then we need a pan-European network. I call this pan-European network a supergrid. Supergrid has many aspects, and one of them is that it is a pan-European network. It is the architecture of European generation and supply, and without it, today, in my opinion, we have suboptimal national markets. Plus also, in my opinion, of course, investing in the networks is a cheaper option compared to what we have today with capacity payments in all the member states, 28 security of supplies, 28 markets. Investing in the network, in a pan-European network, will imply the possibility to efficiently use all the energy mixes in the European Union today, integrate all new energy resources, whatever they are, in Europe. It will decrease the dependence from very expensive fuels from third countries, and at the same time then we will of course diminish the CO2 emissions at the least cost. I really never understood why we have ended up with 28 markets when the situation from the point of view of energy in all the member states is practically the same, and it really doesn't make any sense that we continue to have 28 energy policies that are competing between them.
Do you see these 28 member states competing with each other as the main barrier for this supergrid, or is it the main uncertainty in your mind?
In my opinion, the uncertainty is because of this lack of political willingness of the member states to have one energy policy or a much more European energy policy in the European Union. This has led to the non-realization of a single energy market that we don't have today, despite we have already 3 energy packages and they have been implemented or they are about to end up being implemented. And or maybe, sometimes I think that it's not even the lack of political willingness, but it's even more the fear of member states to depend from each other. They seem to be very relaxed in negotiating very long-term contracts with third countries. They've been doing that for many years, and obviously not so confident in negotiating between them. So this is one of the barriers. It's maybe fear, it's maybe political unwillingness, but this is leading to the fact of having 28 very different regulatory frameworks and doing investments, making investments in the networks, which are the obvious ones, the business as usual investments. They take forever because of these differences in the regulatory frameworks. And if those take forever, it is practically impossible that investments in more innovative type supergrid solutions, in which you will have many more member states getting interconnected at the same time, or in which you will have the production capacities of those member states, for example in the seas, getting connected and then the member states connected, this becomes practically impossible. It's something I cannot understand either. I mean, how we have ended with these 28 markets, as I said before, and then plus it has led to the situation also of incentives to investors. Sometimes TSOs, transmission system operators, are not even very incentivized to these business as usual investments because of the rate of return. So imagine also other investors, private investors, developers, coming into investing in the networks. They are even less incentivized, and it's almost impossible when then you're talking about introducing technology innovation.
Many thanks, Ana, for sharing your views on this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.